Now, an Emeritus Newsbrief, I'm Lynn Houston. Are U.S. oil companies cheating the government out of tax royalties they owe? That story in just a moment, but first, President Obama says he's optimistic the world economy will turn around, but he says the U.S. will have to work with other countries and have a sense of humility.
Agreement will almost never be easy, and results won't always come quickly. But I am committed to respecting different points of view and to forging a consensus instead of dictating our terms. That's how we made progress in the last few days, and that's how we will advance and uphold our ideals in the months and years to come. You know, at home I've often spoken about a new era of responsibility, and I believe that this era must not end at our borders. In a world that's more and more interconnected, we all have responsibilities to work together to solve common challenges. And although it will take time, I am confident that we will rebuild global prosperity if we act with a common sense of purpose, persistence, and the optimism that the moment demands.
Specifically, the G20 leaders agreed to put $1 trillion into the world economy, putting $500 billion into the International Monetary Fund for immediate use, a credit line for the IMF of another $250 billion, and $250 billion for use to promote trade between countries. That package is mainly to help those countries worse off than the G20. And the G20 agreed to do more to prevent tax havens for the rich to hide their money. The group also agreed to rules to cap the pay and bonuses of bankers, standards for handling toxic assets on financial balance statements, and tighter regulations on hedge funds. On Capitol Hill, testimony from the former chairman of AIG, who says his successors got, quote, greedy, that the $170 billion bailout of the company won't work and that AIG needs restructuring. The Financial Accounting Standards Board agrees to give banks a break and allow mark-to-market standards in accounting for property with valuation losses. This allows banks to value properties at current market value. Wall Street likes that idea. The markets finished up on Thursday. The Dow was up 216.48, finishing at 7978.08. The Nasdaq gained 51 points to end at 1,602.63. The Government Accountability Office released a report showing that if oil companies want to cheat the U.S. government out of tax royalties for oil and gas they produce, it would be hard to account for it. The GAO says the U.S. government doesn't do a good job monitoring adjustments made by companies to their own self-reported production and royalty data, and identifying missing royalty reports in a timely manner, and that the U.S. government gets one of the lowest shares of revenue for oil and gas resources when compared to other countries. Weekly job losses up for the 10th week in a row, another record according to the Labor Department. For the week ending March 28th, initial claims were 669,000. That's an increase of 12,000 from the previous week's revised figure of 657,000. The 4-week moving average of those already getting unemployment compensation, 5,496,000, another record. The latest on the biggest issues in public policy at emeritusnews.com. That's an Emeritus News Brief. I'm Lynn Houston.